There is an old adage: you never want to meet your hero or your heroes because you will ultimately be disappointed. Growing up, one of the people, I don't want to call him my hero. My dad was always the guy I looked up to the most, but another person that I admired growing up was Howard Stern. Howard Stern was the epitome of the 90s. He was in your face. He didn't care who he offended. He revolutionized the medium of talk radio. He was edgy, rebellious. Howard Stern said and talked about things that most people were thinking, but were too afraid to say out loud. He fought the government over free speech. I actually had the opportunity to speak to Howard Stern over the phone. It was New Year's Eve. I believe the year was I think it was 2011. He got on Twitter, said he had been drinking that day. He was drunk and he wanted to talk to some of his fans. He said, tweet your phone number. Maybe I'll give you a call. So I did, on the off chance that he might call me. 5 minutes later, my phone rang. It was Howard Stern and his wife, Beth. We talked for 5 or so minutes. It wasn't a long conversation, but he couldn't have been a nicer guy. He asked about my family. My dog was barking in the background. He asked about her. It was a good conversation. One of those once-in-a-lifetime moments where you get to speak with someone who inspired you growing up. Howard Stern was the reason that I wanted a career in radio. Now, obviously, that path changed, but what happened there is a story for another day. I came out of that conversation not feeling disappointed. Now, of course, here we are over 10 years later, and the Howard Stern that we hear on the radio today is unrecognizable. Another social justice warrior tarnishing his own legacy. For the last 8 or 10 years, the Golden State Warriors they've been the so-called heroes of the NBA. This group was the one constant in a league where players were constantly changing teams. One of the things that have severely damaged the NBA is this era of the super team. It's created this environment, this atmosphere where fans follow players instead of teams. Now, the problem with that, fans are not given the opportunity to build an emotional attachment to a franchise. Every July, superstar players hit free agency trying to chase a championship instead of earning it the right way. Throughout the era of super teams, there has been one team that was different, the Golden State Warriors. The core of this team was built through the draft, not free agency. Now, yeah, they went out and signed Kevin Durant, but they had already won a title at that point, and Kevin Durant came to them, not the other way around. Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green. This group is a rarity in the modern NBA. 3 players who have been together for over 10 years. Even when the chips were down the last couple of years, there were no rumors of jumping off ship. Hell, LeBron James, he changes jerseys like a mother changes diapers. LeBron enters a franchise in the process of winning the team a championship. He sets the franchise back years with bad contracts. Trade away your future. Trade away all your draft picks. Let's go all in and win this season. At the end of the day, is it really worth it? Now, if you're the Cleveland Cavaliers, sure. If you're the Los Angeles Lakers, was that bubble championship in 2020 really worth it? Here we are 2 years later. You're stuck with an aging roster, no draft picks, and a championship no one considers legitimate. The point is, though, the Golden State Warriors had been the team that was attractive to the casual fan. Even as detestable as Draymond Green can be, you could balance that out with the likability of Steph Curry and Klay Thompson. Hell, even Steve Kerr used to be likable. Key words, used to be. I think that's the point we're at with the Golden State Warriors, a team that used to be likable. This NBA Finals is shaping up to be an absolute disaster for the NBA, at least in terms of television ratings. They needed the Warriors to win this series, but at this point, I think most people want to see them lose. Not because of their past dominance, not because people are tired of seeing a dynasty. What people are tired of seeing is the constant bitching and complaining from modern NBA players and coaches. This league is soft. There is just no other way to say it. The NBA is soft and full of hypocrites. I'll show you an example of the hypocrisy in just a second. First, let's get into ratings for Game 3 of the NBA Finals. Games 1 and 2, they were viewed by 11.9 million people. Game 3, 11.5 million. Now, this is not all that alarming. Typically, we do see a small decrease from games 1 and 2 to games 3. Since 2010, NBA Finals ratings from game 2 to 3 has only increased twice. But it's what happened after the game the other night that's cause for concern. If you're the NBA right now, if you're Adam Silver in the NBA front office, you are doing everything you can to attract viewers. You don't want coaches and players continuing to turn viewers away. During Game 3 in Boston the other night, Celtics fans, let's just say they let Draymond Green know how they feel about him. Now, this was just one occurrence. The fuck you Draymond chants happened throughout the night. I saw a YouTube compilation of the chants. It was almost 3 minutes long, so this happened almost the entire game. Fans in Boston were hostile towards the Warriors throughout the game, and more specifically, Draymond Green. Now, why would anyone be surprised by this? Boston has a history spanning decades of being one of the rowdiest crowds in the NBA. It would be like someone complaining about the mean fans in Philadelphia. They booed fucking Santa Claus. You think they're going to be nice to you? This is the NBA Finals. It's not about being nice. It's about winning. Now, I'm going to show you the correct response to this. Then I'm going to show you several incorrect responses. Surprisingly, the correct response comes from Adam Silver, a man who in the past I've accused of being the ultimate beta male. In this scenario, Adam Silver's the only man holding his own balls. Roll the film.
What's your response to kind of how that all played out last night?
And I want fans to enjoy themselves. I mean, of course, as the league office, you want to see it done with respect for all the participants, but I get it. I love the energy that the Boston fans bring to the game.
Adam Silver gets it. This is not personal. Respect has nothing to do with it. It's the NBA Finals. This is what fans are supposed to be doing. This is what makes playoff basketball great. It's what differentiates it from the regular season, the energy from the crowd. Not for the Golden State Warriors, though. No. It appears that move from Oakland to San Francisco has made this team soft. The Warriors used to have a reputation as one of the toughest teams in the NBA. I don't know if it's age. I don't know if it's lack of hunger, success, fame, fortune. Hell, maybe they have been in San Francisco for too long. They are starting to emulate the softness permeating throughout the city. As you guys know, San Francisco is the woke capital. And one thing all social justice warriors have in common is softness, the ability to be offended by any and everything. And mother of fuck, the Warriors were offended by the fuck you Draymond chants the other night. Listen to the responses from Klay Thompson and Steve Kerr.
On the crowd's response to Draymond? Classy. Very classy.
It was not a factor. We played in front of rude people before, dropping F-bombs with children in the crowd. Real classy. Good job, Boston.
First of all, and I know I say this every time, and I'm going to continue saying it every time until he takes that fucking mask off his face. I am so sick of seeing Steve Kerr wearing that mask. You know how many people died from the COVID yesterday? 343. In a country of 340 million people, 343 died from the COVID. 3,700 died from car accidents yesterday. Is Steve Kerr gonna ride a bike instead of getting into his limo? At this point, the mask is nothing but a desperate plea to be accepted into Club Woke. Take it off. Clearly, Klay Thompson, Steve Kerr, they were given the same talking points memo the other night. Be sarcastic and call the Boston crowd classy. Oh, how original. I guess woke minds think alike. Just like with gun control, Klay Thompson and Steve Kerr are angry because of the children. We must protect the children. How dare the crowd drop F-bombs with young kids in the audience? Remember the other day when we talked about expectations, life being all about expectations. Remember that? When you go to church, you don't expect to hear the word fuck from some overweight broad protesting about abortion rights. When you watch an NBA Finals press conference, you don't expect to be lectured on gun control. As a parent, if you take your child to a Mardi Gras parade in New Orleans and you're appalled by all the boobs your kid's exposed to, that's on you. Women have a reputation for taking their shirts off during Mardi Gras. It's expected. If you take your child to Game 3 of the NBA Finals in Boston, you should expect going in, the crowd is going to be rowdy. Your child's going to be exposed to cursing, exposed to people drinking, yelling, and berating players. If you don't want your child exposed to it, don't go. Don't let them go. Back in 97 and 98, Michael Jordan, he would not allow his young children to go to the NBA Finals in Utah. Why? Because he knew the crowd in Salt Lake City was going to be volatile. He knew the crowd was going to verbally attack him. He didn't want his kids exposed to it, so he made them stay home. You know what we call that? Parenting. Not the wife of Draymond Green, though. No. It's not her fault her young son was exposed to profanity at the NBA Finals. It's your fault. How dare you yell obscenities when my child in this building? I expect you to accommodate my stupidity by altering your own behavior. This is another thing I'm tired of, this expectation on everyone else to accommodate your own stupidity. This dumbass tries to compare the NBA Finals to your average 9-to-5 job. Do people come into your office and yell obscene chants? No, you dumbass. Again, it's about expectations. The average person is not going to walk into a law office and yell, "Fuck you, lawyer." Game 3 of the NBA Finals, it's expected to happen. Keep your child at home if you don't want him exposed to it. But it's not like Draymond Green's son has never heard cursing before. Check out this clip from his post-game press conference the same night. Roll the film.
Draymond, how do you feel you played?
Like shit.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't shit considered a curse word? And what about this shit about Warriors fans being classy? Warriors fans would never mistreat players with obscene language. Oh, really?
LeBron, how does it feel to be a pussy-ass bitch?
Hey, watch your mouth, woman!
People's feelings get hurt, even if they're called a bad word. I guess his feelings just got hurt.
Did I just see Klay Thompson making fun of the supposed hurt feelings of LeBron James? The same Klay Thompson that was chastising fans in Boston? Ooh, we have us a nice bowl of hypocrisy cereal this morning. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your modern NBA. As a millennial, it's downright embarrassing to grow up watching a league full of tough men, non-complainers. NBA players used to embrace the hostility. It fueled them. It motivated them. Modern NBA players call the fans meanies. This league is at war with its own fan base. Ratings for the NBA Finals are shit. I don't care how the media wants to spin it. These ratings are shit. And I don't see them getting any better. One thing most Americans are tired of, whining athletes. You want to know how to shut fans in Boston up? Crying in the post-game press conference, not going to do it. It's only going to make it worse. You want to silence the crowd? Do what your predecessors would have done. Win. But let me know what you think. Game 3 ratings, lowest of the series thus far. And the Warriors jump aboard the complain train after the game. Absolutely pathetic. Sound off in the comments below. Make sure to like and subscribe. Click the notification bell to receive all notifications from the channel. Best way to contact me is by email at btlkc84@gmail.com, KC_BTL84 on Twitter. I'll see you guys later.